Hey everybody, so I just want to put my two penneth in because I think it's about time. The Manosphere, I watched it the other week. I tried to watch it, had to turn it off. I couldn't cope with the rhetoric. I did go back and watch it, and like everybody else, well, the majority of people in the world, I was disgusted. Now, I just wanted to bring this to light because I do think it needs to be seen from perspectives, especially perspectives like myself and some of the perspectives of the men that I know. Now, I've had the pleasure of training with some of the best fighters in the UK. Madars Flaminez from Grimsby, Ryan Crane from Lincoln, Dylan Wright, his father, Glenn Wright, Jordan Mower, just to name a few. I do know something factual that these men are very good men. And I've had the pleasure of sharing training sessions, sparring sessions with these men. Tough, tough men. The reason I drop these types of individuals' names is because if you had these men in a room together and you said to these men, just observe the culture on Manosphere, how do you feel about they could potentially treat your daughter that way? I could almost guarantee that the room would erupt. That isn't masculinity. And for those who think that it is, I am desperately sad for you. And I believe that there's potentially many factors that attribute to you believing that to be masculine. And one of them is you're potentially very weak and you can't think for yourself. And you believe that having these types of women and all these material possessions is what make you a man. Now, again, I go back to the type of people and men I've associated with. I come from a very rough background. I've been in criminal hemisphere before, prior to obviously everybody knows breaking away and starting my life again. And I also work with individuals who have just come out of jail. And even these types of men, I know factually, would have the same view as my fellow fighting friends. Those men that you saw on this Menosphere are disgustingly weak. They've been wrapped in cotton wool most of their lives, if not all of their life. They're entitled little pricks. And I am going to say that. And I know, I'm a registered psychologist now, but I just felt like I had to put my true personal two penneth in on this. So the last thing that we need is another toxic culture. We have it from the far right, we have it from the far left currently. Now, I feel like we are looking at the extremities of men, and I just want everybody to know my perspective is this. The far left, the extreme of either side, are as bad as each other. The far feminine movement is just as bad as the far masculine movement. I'd even argue whether they were feminine and masculine anyway. But also, the far left movement is just as bad as the far right movement. They all propagate the same thing. And that thing is, we have a view, this is what we believe, and everybody should fall in line. And those who don't fall in line are less than what we are. I would argue that you are that small, you have had to create such noise and poison to get yourself noticed. Almost like a little demon, not getting his attention and the attention that he needs and just screaming, kicking his feet and stamping and having a tantrum. These men and women are all as bad as each other. The far left, the far right, just as bad as each other. It is the men in the middle, the men and the women in the middle that keep these extremities at bay, thankfully. But we have to remember that, I know very, very good men who hold themselves to a high standard, as I hold myself now to a very high standard. And I know women who do the same. And it's the people in the middle that keep these people at bay. But that doesn't mean we're sat on the fence. What it does, it means that we have the ability to think, bring ideas together to pull and formulate the best outcome for everybody. The Menosphere gentlemen are the most disgusting, grotesque men I've ever met in my life. And I would love to see those types of men step into a room full of real warriors, real fighters, real men. They would not last very long at all. The reason I'm saying this is because I just want young men and boys to know that that is not the fucking way. Be mindful of what you digest through your eyes. Learn how to think. Go to a fighting gym. Find a group of good men and learn from them. do not learn from these clowns online. I saw this thing that everybody there were these young gentlemen investing money with somebody called HS TikTok. If you invested money with somebody called HS TikTok, you deserve to lose your money. This is the difference when people think and people have the inability to think. We need to be careful with this, guys, and young boys, young men. Watch the right people, listen to good minds, read books, gather knowledge, protect those around you who are more vulnerable than you. Under all circumstances, you protect, you care for, and you provide your masculine traits in service to yourself, your family, and your community. The value of a man is not based on the women he has on his arm or his material possessions. The value of a man is based on the size of the smiles on his family's face when he walks into a room. Remember that. Big love.